My name is Heather Johnson. I am a teacher with Cleveland Schools. I teach at H. Barbara Booker School, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade English Language Arts. We're off to a great second year with digital storytelling. When I think back to last year, I think about the strong foundation that we built. A foundation of skills, academic skills, students being able to present their stories and to be excited about their stories, but also a skill with technology. And so this year, they are really taking it to the next level. They've taken that strong foundation that we built and they're extending their learning, they're extending their practice. I have students who are thinking out of the box to tell their stories. They are looking at doing interviews. They really took last year as a baseline of knowledge, and it was accepted and it was celebrated, and so now they're looking to put even more into it. From the first day, because students were already bought in, staff is already bought in, the principal, the administrators are already brought in. Even when we had our planning meeting and we talked about what topics we were going to do next, it seemed like all of the stakeholders were pushing for more and pushing outside of the box to pull more from the kids. And you know, from that first day when the kids came in, they joined us and they pushed their work forward too. The writing went more smoothly. You could tell that they were excited to tell another side of their story.
What's up, you short nerd?
Why would you just do that to him?
Because I can.
No, you cannot. How would you like if he did that to you?
Thanks. If you wouldn't have come over there, I would have got suspended for fighting back.
But that's not necessary. You can always go tell him the door. Mr. Giga, me and Ellie were standing at our lockers, and J Money came over and knocked Matt's stuff out of his hands and called him a little short nerd.
Mashay, don't worry about it. I'll take care of it.
Thank you.
Jake Ronnie, why would you knock Matthew books out of his hands? Well, you're not gonna say anything? You got to after school to start tomorrow. Oh, also, go and apologize to Matthew.
See, Matt.
I'm sorry.
Hey, I'm sorry for bullying you. I'm just mad because my parents are getting divorced.
It's okay.
Hey, I'm sorry that your parents are getting divorced. Would you like to come to the arcade with us?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Most people being bullied react to the bullying and get the consequence. Also, 90% of 4th through 8th graders report being victims of bullying.
Educate yourself and community with the resources about being an upstander. Why do bullies bully kids? I think they do it for fun.
Most bullying takes place at a school. How can we stop bullying from happening?
Understanding this information will help you. Help stand up to bullies by reporting it to a teacher or an adult.
Be a friend, even if this person isn't your friend yet. Go over to them and let them know how both of you can stand up to bullies.
Help them talk to adults about what's happening.
Just think for a moment about how great this would be if someone did this for you when you're being picked on or hurt.
Do this if you're bullied.
By Janisha,
Tayshawn,
And Jasper.
you might have heard of Gamma or Gas upon being at school. The name it goes by is cyberbullying. It is very serious and affects people nice.
Cyberbullying happens when people use cell phones or computers or other things. A big problem with cyberbullying is that because it's on technology, then the bully can gang up on kids online. This is bullying.
Cyberbullying has already involved a big number of teenagers and their lives. It is a problem. Cyberbullying can reach them walking home from school. It can be hard to get away from or ignore. Here go some facts about cyberbullying and why cyberbullying is bad. Girls are about twice as likely as boys to be victims of cyberbullying.
Over half of the world, teenagers and adults have been bullying online. People that have been in cyberbullying have been called fat, fake, nerd, no life, wannabe, or even lame. People that are cyberbullying takes their lives away. People get cyberbullying a lot on Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat.
Stop cyberbullying today.
By Alyssa,
Julia.
Gavin,
And Angelo.
Bullying uko mbaya kwa mzako. Every single day we each have opportunity to make our school and our world a better place. Putting an end to bullying is everyone's responsibility.
When an upstander see or hear about someone being bullied, they speak up, being an upstander and being a hero. Learn more about mean, crucials, and bullying behaviors. Help others who are being bullied. Stop untrue or harmful messages.
Get friend involved, make friends outside of your circle. Be aware of the bullying police at your school.
Welcome new students. Refuse to be a bystander and be a role model to others.
Respect others different and help others to respect differently. Develop on upstander presentation program project with teacher or principal support.
By Iman
and Steven.
just different. You wanna have a lunch and I wanna.
This film is about a girl named Briasia. They got bullied in high school. Her best friend named Trey made her a necklace with a secret camera on it so she could film all the things the bully did and said to her.
So a couple days later, she overdosed on sleeping pills and went into a coma and ended up dying about a month and a half later.
3 facts about victims of bullying. Over 3.2 million students get bullied each year. Over 160,000 teens skip school because they are victims of bullying.
17% of American students reports being bullied 2 to 3 times a month or more within school.
Victim is a person that is harmed, injured, or killed as a result of crime, accident, or action. Most victims have evidence, but sometimes they are too scared to say something to people. It happens every day to many people of any age, and it affects everyone.
Bullies talk about other people to make themselves feel better. They put other people down because of their own problems.
Trey eventually turned the necklace into the principal, and the police investigated what caused Bria's death.
Soon after, the police looked up Bria's Facebook, Kik, and other social media sites, found posts saying, "Go kill yourself, no one likes you."
The principal eventually expelled the bullies from school.
Stop bullying.
This year we are having inclusion, which actually I would have to say, as a result of digital storytelling, when we came to the point of instituting full inclusion, we were able to look back at those times of digital storytelling and say, this could work. Another thing I look forward to with this second year is I actually proactively looked for kids to change their behavior. I knew that one of the outcomes of digital storytelling would be that reluctant learners would get excited about learning.
Over 15,000 teens between 13 and 19 become pregnant. All of teen pregnancies, 16% end in birth. Another 15% end in miscarriages. A teen considering abortion is influenced by where they live, her religion, or her relationship with their parents.
Girl X was in 5th grade. She was only 13 when she found out she was pregnant. She stopped going to school. Some teens like Girl X and others think it's cute to be pregnant. Girl X liked to show off she was pregnant until it was time to give birth to her child. She wasn't ready. She still relied on her mom to get stuff for her baby instead of getting a job. That's why young teens should get pregnant, because they would not know how to take care of their own child.
In 2011, there were 334,000 births among women aged 19 or younger. This figure is down 3% in the past decade. Out of all teen pregnancies, 82% are unintended. Teen pregnancies account for about 20% of all unplanned pregnancies annually. Teenage mothers today are more likely to finish high school and even GEDs than in the past. Pregnant teenagers are less likely to attend college than teens that don't become pregnant.
Of those, 78% are unattended of all teen women who become pregnant. 35% choose to have an abortion rather than have a child.
The top 10 states that have the most teen pregnancies are New Mexico, Mississippi, Texas, Arkansas, Louisiana, Oklahoma, Nevada, Delaware, South Carolina, Hawaii. In the 90s, there were a humongous change in teen pregnancy then in the 2000s.
Bye.
Jashanti was here hacking.
Kendall.
And Tamia.
Some people say they shoot up schools because they get bullied or depressed. These are some facts about school shooting.
2 shootings in Sandy, Utah.
In Sandy, Utah, a 16-year-old boy suffered a 2 gunshot wounds in an altercation near UN Middle School Tuesday afternoon. The argument and shooting took place about 3 p.m. just as classes was letting out.
While classes letting out for that day, 2 boys got into an argument that erupted into a shooting. Police spokesman Dean Carriger told the Daily News.
Both students involved are students in the Canyon School District. The victim, a 16-year-old high student, was taken to the hospital where remains in critical but stable condition. The 14-year-old suspected attends the middle school and was arrested at the scene. He is facing 1 count of attempted murder.
Kidnapping is a crime of unlawfully seizing or carrying away a person by force. When children are kidnapped, statistics believe that 40% of the children kidnapped are killed. Also, did you know the majority of children reported missing have run away, and about 2/3 of stranger abductions involve female children?
On January 22nd, 2017, a 14-year-old girl, Eliana DeFries, was walking to a RTA stop, but she didn't make it. It was shocking because she never got in any trouble, and there was no reason for her to run away. These are facts about kidnapping. Miranda confessed to charges of kidnapped. At the trial, the prosecutor used the confession to obtain one conviction. Miranda was sentenced to 20 to 30 years.
Family kidnapping is committed primarily by parents. Kidnapping officers to occur more frequently to children under 6. Sometimes a child is stolen to be brought up.
Child abuse is a child maltreatment that is physical, sexual, mental mistreatment or neglect of a child or children, especially by a parent or by caregivers. Approximately 5 children die every day because of child abuse. 1 out of 3 girls and 1 out of 5 boys will be sexual abuse before they reach the age 18. 90% of the child sexual abuse victims know the person in some way. 68% are abused by a family member. In 2012, 82% of a child abuse were found to be between the ages of 18 to 44, of which 39% were recorded to be between the ages of 25 to 34.
In the United States, more than 4 children die from child abuse and neglect on a daily basis. Over 70% of these children are below the ages of 3. Children who experience child abuse and neglect are 59% more likely to be arrested as an adult. Abused children are less likely to practice safe sex, putting them at a greater risk of STDs. They're also 25% more likely to experience teen pregnancy. Children die as a result of child abuse. Child abuse causes problems like a lack of education, seriously mental problems, violence between family, low self-esteem, suicide, and alcohol, and also drugs. Tips to stop child abuse is to learn the facts and understand of the risk. By educating yourself and others, you can help your community prevent child abuse and neglect from the first time. The behavior of children may signal abuse or neglect long before any chance in approaching if you suspect abuse or neglect.
Bye, Aaliyah.
And Takira.
Hate crimes.
4 black teens are charged after live streaming.
The 4 people believed to be behind the attack on the young man's special needs in Chicago.
Jordan Hill, 18, Tesfaye Cooper and his sister Brittany, 18, and Tajane, 24. The foursome face charges of kidnapping, unlawful restraint, battery, and hate crime.
Hill, who knew the victim, faces an additional charge of robbery and possession of a stolen vehicle.
Los 4 fueron arrestados en el miércoles en conexión a un video que se presentó en vivo en Facebook, presentando 4 personas torturadas a un hombre y con necesidades especiales.
The 4 were charged Thursday morning with kidnapping, unlawful restraint, battery, and a hate crime. According to the Cook County State Attorney Office, Hill was also charged with robbery and possession of a stolen motor vehicle.
Let's make the world a better place, not posting the bad things on Facebook like abuse and inappropriate things on the internet that everybody will see, because you will be punished. So you will be sorry for what you've done and regret what you did to that person. Bye, Shaki Aris.
Bye, Miguel.
Bye, George.
Bye, Thomas.
And Christian.
Do you know where you were when you first heard about the clowns? I did, and it was scary. There has been news reports of menacing clowns lurking in the woods, sometimes allegedly offering kids cash and candy to follow them or threatening them. There has been over a dozen reports of creepy clowns spotted all over the country. Police have been called to a string of incidents. Pranksters dressed as evil clowns terrorizing bystanders, some armed with guns, knives, or baseball bats.
There has also been a man traveling from state to state, kidnapping kids and throwing them in a van full of clown pictures in it, and he has also dressed as a clown. They even scared an old man who was 80 years old and made him have a heart attack. How much he was frightened, the old man was. So please, here's a warning. When you see a clown, don't follow it. Please report it to an adult, but stay safe. By Silvana Rodriguez
and Audrey Flynn.
You know, when we decided to go into this program again, one request that we did have is that we could have the resident artist, Mr. Woody. The students wanted him, the staff wanted him, and we were very excited to have him work with us. One reason why is because he's very engaging. There is not one single student that he has not been able to reach. We actually took a poll this year on kids who maybe he wouldn't be able to capture, and he's already captured their attention and their...
How is this different from what you typically do in school?
Well, it's more like artistic and more like, I like it better because like this is not something we do every day. This is more like of an activity. Like it's really inspirational. You get to talk about something you like instead of just learning stuff that they teach you. You get to learn something completely different about someone you really like look up to.
James Dean was inspirational because the people he played in movies were rebels who did not care what anyone thought about them.
He was also looked up to by teenagers because it gave someone to look up to and dress like. Dressing like him gives them confidence in their appearance.
James Dean always had nice cars. He wasn't a people pleaser, he was more into his life and goals, plus succeeding and keep moving it forward.
He had died in a car accident on September 30th, 1955. He was 24 years old. He lived a long life, but sadly it was not long.
James Dean will always be an inspiration to teenagers and younger children. A lot of our elders still look up to James Dean, and they still talk about him. He is an important part to our human evolution.
Without him, who knows where fashion could have gone.
By David Lugo
and Anthony Goodson.
What I'm working on is James Dean. I picked him because he's like very inspirational and I really like his style. He's like a cool guy. He's a rebel, so like he really doesn't follow what everybody else does. He's more like what I'm doing type of thing. Like I love the jacket, I'm dressed casual. He doesn't.
Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
John Fitzgerald Jack Kennedy was born May 29, 1917. November 22, 1963, he was commonly referred to by his initials JFK. He was an American politician who served as the 35th President of the United States from January 1961 until his assassination in November 1963. John Fitzgerald Kennedy was born at 83 Beale Street in Brooklyn, Massachusetts, on May 29, 1917. To businessman, politician Joseph Patrick Kennedy and socialite Rose Elizabeth Fitzgerald Kennedy.
He had an elder brother, Joseph Jr., and 7 younger siblings, Rosemary, Kathleen, Eunice, Patricia, Robert, Jean, and Ted.
He married Jacqueline Bouvier and had 2 children, Caroline, John Jr., while Albella and Patrick died at birth. John F. Kennedy wanted to make the world a better place. He started the space race that put a man on the moon. He had very serious commitment to the civil rights movement. He also put his safety second to others.
John F. Kennedy had a lot of charisma. He gave convincing speeches about the Cuban Missile Crisis. Instead of using force, he used diplomacy. He also handled the foreign exchange policy.
Efforts and courage are not enough without purpose and direction.
JFK by Lestat
and Alyssa.
I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, the sons of former slaves and the sons of former slaves' owners will be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood.
Martin Luther King Jr. was born January 15, 1929 in Atlanta, Georgia. MLK is known for his legacy of nonviolent protests and fighting for civil rights.
Decades after King's assassination, his legacy of peaceful protest still remains the most powerful catalyst of change in the country. In 1983, President Ronald Reagan signed a law that declared the third Monday of January to be Martin Luther King Jr. Day.
King received the Nobel Peace Prize when he was 35 years old. He was the youngest to receive the coveted award. Martin Luther King was assassinated April 4th in 1968 in Memphis, Tennessee.
At 6 p.m. on April 4th, 1968, Martin Luther King Jr. was fatally shot by James Earl Ray while standing on the balcony outside his second-story room at the Lorraine Motel.
The civil rights leader was in Memphis to support Send Nation's workers on strike. He was on his way to dinner when a bullet struck him in the jaw and severed his spinal cord.
King was pronounced dead on arrival at 7:05 at St. Joseph Hospital. He was 39 years old.
On April 3rd in Memphis, Tennessee, King gave his last sentence saying, "We've got difficult days ahead."
Dr. King smoked cigarettes and tried to keep his habit under wraps from his family. He was a lifelong smoker, but he was wicked smart.
Darkness cannot drive out darkness, only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate, only love can do that.
When I think of a hero, I think of someone who is brave, strong, hardworking, and trustworthy. My hero is Gabrielle Douglas. Gabrielle Douglas was born December 31st, 1995, and she's been in gymnastics since she was 6 years old. 2 years later, she became a Virginia State gymnast champ. At 14, Gabby made the difficult decision to leave her family to train with renowned coach Leanne Child. She's my hero today because Gabrielle Douglas has a hard life, and she's an African-American Olympic gold medalist. When her mom was sick and didn't have a lot of money to do gymnastics, her brother Jonathan gave her basketball so she could pursue her dreams. Gabrielle Douglas is a hero to me because she had to struggle to reach her goals, and even though her mom was sick, she didn't give up. Her life was so hard, living with her mom and being bullied at school. My message is to never quit, never give up, and when you have a little trouble here and there, just keep fighting and it will pay off. Thanks, Gabrielle Douglas.
When people think of heroes, they think of heroes such as Spider-Man, Superman, and The Flash. But heroes do not have to have powers to save people. Some heroes you should really think of are Theodore Roosevelt, Harriet Tubman, Napoleon, guardians, and teachers.
Theodore Roosevelt was an American statesman, author, explorer, soldier, naturalist, and reformer who served as the 26th President of the United States from 1901 to 1909. Theodore Roosevelt's much heralded charge up Cuba San Juan Hill made him into a national hero.
When the Spanish-American War erupted, he helped form a volunteer regiment called the Rough Riders. His success in the war led to the governor's office, then the vice presidency.
Harriet Tubman was an American abolitionist, humanitarian, and an armed scout, and a spy for the United States Army. During the Civil War, Tubman worked for the Union Army as a nurse, a cook, and a spy. Her experience leading slaves all along the Underground Railroad was especially helpful because she knew the land well. With a commitment to service, Harriet joined the great men in their fight during the Civil War.
Napoleon Bonaparte was in the French military and was a political leader who rose to prominence during the French Revolutionary Wars. The citizens of France wanted equality, and Napoleon gave them that equality in the education system and the tax system. By being a military genius and winning so many key battles for his country, he was seen as a hero and gained much respect all over Europe.
These next two heroes are the greatest heroes alive, guardians and teachers. They instill value most to humankind. They might not get as much recognition as the above named individuals, but if it were not for them, we wouldn't be respectful, loyal, loving, or responsible. For example, my mother feeds me, she helps me out, she even buys me clothes and shoes so I can look good. Mrs. Johnson and Foote are teaching me the importance of respect, love, not talking in class, and to stay focused. Heroes by Sadejan
and Alma.
To become a doctor, you will need to earn a bachelor's degree. You also need to take a medical college admissions test. You have to earn a medical degree and complete a residency program, then obtain license, and you have to get certified to advance your career. Doctors are important because they make a difference between life and death. Elizabeth Blackwell was the first woman to graduate from medical school in the United States. Born on February 3, 1821 in Bristol, England, she worked as a teacher.
Later, she decided to attend medical college and graduated in 1849. The first woman doctor of medicine in the contemporary, she returned to Europe and worked in London and Paris. In the mid-1850s, she opened a clinic that's known as New York Dispensary for poor women and children, with help from her sister Emily Blackwell, who worked as a surgeon and physician. Mary Elizabeth Blackwell also established the New York Infirmary for Women and Children in 1857. In the late 1860s, Blackwell opened a medical school for women. Elizabeth died in her home at Hastings, United Kingdom on May 31st, 1910.
Hello, my name is Mylisa. And we will be doing an interview on Mrs. Blake. Mrs. Blake, do you admire what the doctors did for you?
I do. The doctors not only helped myself, but they helped my daughter, who was born premature with lung issues on December 21st of 2015.
How early did you have your baby?
Aurora came almost 2.5 months early, at 29 weeks.
How did the doctors help you in labor?
My husband and I did not have a typical birth. Aurora was born at home very suddenly, So my husband and I had to deliver our child. And when we did get to the hospital, the doctors helped me be safe, and they helped my daughter breathe and take care of her needs.
Are the doctors heroes to you?
Yes, the doctors definitely are heroes, basically for their expertise in understanding heart and lung issues. Other heroes to us are definitely the EMT and the paramedics that helped revive my daughter when she was born at home because she was not breathing.
What words would you use to describe the doctors?
The words that I would describe the doctors would be amazing, talented, caring.
What are the doctors still doing for you today?
The doctors are still helping us with extended home care. They are conferencing with us on how we are to help our daughter, not only right now with her developmental needs, her physical therapy needs, occupational needs, and respiratory needs, and they are conferencing with us on what her needs will be like in the near future.
The story of Walt Disney. Walt Disney was born December 5th, 1901 in Hermosa, Chicago, Illinois. He died December 15th, 1966 in Burbank, California. His wife Lillian Disney lived from 1925 to 1966. His children were Diane Disney Miller and Sharon May Disney. Some of his quotes were, "If you can dream it, you can do it." Laughter is timeless, imagination has no age, and it's kind of fun to do the impossible.
Walt Disney was an intelligent man. He accomplished many things in his life, like creating movies, theme parks, and many other things. Walt did different things with his cartoons by adding sound and color to them. Walt expanded little children's imaginations and put a smile on their face. He also made a place for the kids to run around, see their favorite Disney characters, and just have a lot of fun.
Kids from Make-A-Wish Foundation went there to have the time of their lives with their family and friends. He now lives a great legacy. By Shanna Herford, Raina Plaza,
Jason Repersad, and Samuel Linder.